Yeah, we had a massive fire. We lost everything with the exception of one thing. When we went into the ashes in the living room, I had my mother's Bible on an end table, and everything was gone with the exception of that Bible.
And that is what we call a sign. This is Touched by Heaven. Everyday encounters with God, those moments when heaven and earth collide and we see God. In these encounter stories with angels, divine intervention, prophetic dreams, visions, near-death experiences, welcome. I'm your host, Trapper Jack. Whole house burns down, but the Bible remains the only thing not in ashes. Perhaps not a coincidence.
Yes. Yeah, that even though I wasn't, involved in church or anything, that obviously that meant something.
Our guest today is Claire from where?
Wilmington, North Carolina.
And it was so nice meeting Claire just a few weeks back in Medjugorje, not in our group, a listener, but with another group. But our paths crossed for a couple of minutes. But it was an important 2 minutes there in front of St. James Church and right there by the Blessed Mother statue as she brought tape to me. And did you listen? You listened to this week's episode, so you
Yes, I did.
Kind of heard my little reflection on the broken white cane and all that kind of good stuff.
Yes, I did. I was like, oh my gosh.
You kind of played a role in all of that, so, and I just looked at Elizabeth and went, I can't believe what this girl's doing, man. This is nuts.
I said, he's got to go up Cross Mountain for goodness sake.
Well, and we'll get back to the blind guy climbing a mountain in a little bit here and a few other things that happened on this trip. But to Claire's story, and Medjugorje plays a role in Claire coming back to God after a long time away.
I was away from the church for a good 30 years.
Just like Trapper.
Yeah, just like you. One of the things that happened in the 2000s was that my dad passed away. While in hospice, the day before he passed away, he kind of looked up and sat up and just yelled out, Mary. And my daughter and I kind of looked at each other like, who is Mary? Because at this point now I've been away from the church and never crossed my mind back then that this is the Blessed Mother coming, to assure him that his travels are going to be good. And then the next day, the day that he passed away, Christy and I, my daughter, we were sitting with him. He was, actively dying at that point, and the door to his hospice room opened up. And we both looked at each other because nobody came in the door. And so we're like, all right, okay. And so, we're just sitting there with him. The next thing, the TV shuts off by itself. And we're like, okay. Then he passes away. And then the nurse came in. We called her. She came in. And she's starting to unhook things and what have you. And we started telling her, about the door opening and the TV turning off. And she's like, okay, yeah, And then while she's doing all that, the TV turns back on as if everything had to be still and quiet when he passed. And somebody came through that door to get him. So that was pretty wild.
Did she look at things oddly, the nurse?
Being a hospice nurse, I feel like a lot of them have this experience, but this one didn't seem to have had that kind of thing happen before. But when that TV turned back on, that she looked at us like, okay, then.
Okay, there's something going on here. There's something going on here, yeah.
Yeah, something going on. So,
but you mentioned house, though. You had one burned down, didn't you?
I did. We had a fire I separated from my husband in January of 2001, and we had a fire in October of 2001.
So this is while you're away from church, and God isn't really much of a thing at that point?
No, Satan was all over my life at that point, and, I was completely unaware of that. But, yeah, we had a massive fire. We lost everything with the exception of one thing. Literally, the only thing standing in the house was basically the front of the house. Everything else behind it was gone. And when we went into, the ashes, so to speak, in the living room, I had my mother's Bible on an end table, and everything was gone with the exception of that Bible and that end table.
Wow. At that time,
So,
did that mean anything, or wow, what a coincidence, or that's the one item sitting there. It's like,
yes. Yeah, that even though I wasn't, like go involved in church or anything, that obviously that meant something
yeah, even at the
in
time,
terms.
but you were the breadcrumbs weren't you weren't looking for the breadcrumbs back then.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't looking for the breadcrumbs.
And
Uh,
most of us aren't. That's why. That's the beauty. I mean, I know it's why I began Touched by Heaven, so people could help be shown the breadcrumbs, because that's how I got brought back. I got brought back to the breadcrumbs, and by
yeah,
that's connected to that, and that's that. Oh, God is talking to me, this kind of
yeah,
thing. And then, but even now, you can look back as it is a breadcrumb.
yes, absolutely a breadcrumb.
And so at some point, as long as that connection is made that, oh, you were speaking to me then too. My house is burning down. No, God, you didn't set it on fire. You allowed it. And
Yeah,
that one place where he definitely put his hand in is, I'm saving that book.
yeah. Well, it's interesting because that year it had been a rough year for sure. And I remember saying at one point, God, I can't handle another thing. I can't do any more. I can't have any more bad go on in my life. And he basically said, "Let me show you what you can handle." And, we like I said, we lost everything, but, I had a great, community, in the school that I taught with, and, really good friends that helped us get through it, and, you know, I survived, but,
Yeah.
you
And
know
we all have our Job moments throughout life. You can't avoid it.
no, that everybody has a cross to carry.
Oh my gosh. And then the seasons change for it. Could be this
Right.
cross or that cross, or one you carry throughout your life. But crosses do change as well.
They do, and they, kinda had there's been a lot that happened in my life that, my mom passed away in a car accident when I was 12. The following year, my dad remarried. That was an awful situation for me. Um,
You and stepmom didn't get along too well?
oh, I called her the step monster.
Mm. Mm.
No, we didn't get along well at all.
'Cause you were how old?
I was 12.
Yeah, that's so young. It's tough. That's definitely a cross.
Mom stuff and, like,
Yeah.
don't it was awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awful. And I tried to, like, accept her and all of that, but she was just a very cold person. As a matter of fact, the day they got married, I'd vowed I'd be out of the house at 18. So I was 13 when they got married, and I was out of the house at 18. So again, it was a cross. And I think, like looking back, like having had those hard things in life when I was young, um, gave me the strength to handle the hard things when I was an adult.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that where I'm at in life now is such a good place as far as, if you want me to carry a cross, I'll carry it because that's what you're calling me to do. So, and I know God is always there, you know, as they say, He never gives us more than we can handle. And I believe that's true. Probably around November, December of 23, I just kept feeling like I need to go back to church. I need to go back to church. And so I started my faith return on Ash Wednesday of 2024, which was in February. And I had known about Medjugorje since probably the late 80s. So, I was absolutely intrigued. And of course, back then there was no internet to go Google anything. So, was just enamored with it. So, in February 24, I was like, I'm going to look that up. And I was shocked to see that it was still going on. Absolutely shocked. And then there's like, I really feel like I need to go there probably within a month, I had booked my trip, went by myself, didn't know anybody, didn't know anything about it.
Which, as you find out, is not unusual. A lot of people go there by themselves, then link up along the way with like-minded folks.
I have made some very good friends through both of my trips to Medjugorje. When I was there, you hear the story of people's rosaries turn into gold and smelling roses and seeing the sun dance in the sky. And although I did not have any rosaries that turned gold, I did on both trips have the smell of roses inside St. James Church. And it's kind of one of those things that makes you stop in your footsteps and just breathe in that smell because you're like so in awe of like, is this really happening to me? I'm smelling roses and I shouldn't be because there's no roses in sight.
And it's just kind of like a flash, like, hi, just Mary saying hi. It's just, whoa. And it just stops you cold.
I guess probably reflecting afterwards that I truly was called by the Blessed Mother to be there and to experience the things that I did. And then when I came back, I would attend church and I'd say to, other parishioners, like, do you know about Medjugorje? And they're like, no, and it's like, how many Catholics have no idea that this is even happening?
Most.
And 44 and a half years later, like,
most haven't a clue.
I felt like the Blessed Mother wants me to tell people about Medjugorje. I need to go back to Medjugorje. I need to have that feeling of peace in my heart that I feel there. And what I got was I'm supposed to let Catholics know about what's going on there because there's so many that don't know about it.
Right.
Then one of the guys in our group, he was out at dinner with his son who was there, and they got ready to pray the rosary, and he looks at his rosaries and he's like, I think these turned gold. And sure enough, they did. And and if you know the miracles that happen at Medjugorje, you're not surprised that this happened. You're in awe that it happened, but it's not surprising.
Yeah, it's embraced there, the experience,
Yes.
Which is the way it should be, which is the way it was in the early church. They weren't keeping it quiet. They were spreading the word.
Right. So even though this is my interview, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What was it like to go up Cross Mountain?
That was nuts. It was nuts. Here's the story. So 3 years ago when we first went to Medjugorje and my son was there and daughter and my buddy Danny out of New York was there. Anyway, we're going up Apparition Hill and I had no idea what that meant. I had no idea just how stony and jagged and impossible that is for a blind guy. And I think, well, maybe the white cane will help. Well, I suddenly realized that's just, it doesn't help at all. And organically, it was just kind of interesting because my son was on one side and Danny was on the other. And pretty soon I'm kind of grabbing the arm of my son and Danny, I'm putting my hand on his shoulder and we just start walking and they start saying, there's a high step, step with your left. It's high, it's short. And they just kept telling me where to put my feet, basically. And we got into kind of a rhythm. And of course, as you know, you stop along the way and do decades of the rosary, and until we got to the top and then we came back down again. But anyway, this time around, I knew that on Apparition Hill, if you want to go up, they'll carry you up there. They'll put you in a chair and carry you up there. It's not about getting to the top. It's about the journey. Kind of like life. It's not the destination. It's the journey. There's only one destination that matters, heaven. Outside of that, it's the journey. And so I said, no, it's the effort made. I don't care about being at the top of Cross Mountain necessarily. I said, I just feel like I'm supposed to be there, and it has to do with the effort made to get there. Even if I fail, it's about the effort, not about getting to it. So unbeknownst to me, Ben, who was with corporate travel, he's a young guy, 24, 25 years old, has a theology degree, and he was just rock solid guy. And Paul, one of the pilgrims, came forward, and they just came forward and said, we want to help you get there. And I went, okay. I said, here's the way I did it before. And it's just kind of helped me with where the feet are supposed to go. And we'll get into a rhythm. And I said, are you sure? I said, this thing is 3 times Apparition Hill. 3 times Apparition Hill.
About 10 times more difficult as well.
I said, man, are you sure? And they go, yeah. At the bottom, before we went up, our guide said, pick up a stone. Did you do this, by the way? Did you hear this part, picking up a stone?
No.
Okay, so did you do Cross Mountain?
I did.
Okay. So she said, pick up a stone and put all of your crosses onto that. You know, what are your worries, your concerns, your anxieties, whatever's on your mind now, just stick it on that. And when you get to the top, right there at the cross, this giant cement cross, which is about 25 feet tall, whatever it is.
Yes, it's huge.
Place your stone at the base of that cross and give God all your problems. So it's kind of like a surrender novena kind of thing. It's just, here, you can have it. I don't want it. I
Next
give you.
time I go there, I have to do that.
Yeah. So it's kind of like just place it there. So, but the idea is that you leave, you give your cross to God, which is what we're supposed to do in life. And you just give your issues to God. And the answer comes because God takes care of it. So I put the stone in my pocket and.
Big step up.
I got a big medium.
Okay, now you got a big one?
Big one. There it is. Okay. Well, this is
Medium step up. It's not the best foothold.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find one.
There you go.
There we go. All right.
Ben, you want to go to the left? Yeah, keep.
Yes?
Go
Is that okay if I do that?
Yeah, you're good.
I'll go
Go
there. Okay,
great.
And push
Go
on
ahead.
me.
Go up one more
Ready?
step.
Okay.
Boom.
Go.
Nailed it. One big step up. Great.
This is the beginning of about 2.5 hours of this constant.
How are you gentlemen doing?
They're doing great.
There's wife
Just
Elizabeth.
dragging me along nice. You doing good? How you doing?
Yeah.
Your stick helping? Big time, right? I got 2 big sticks. My 2 big sticks.
Big step.
Yeah, there you go.
Another big step.
Amen. We can do it.
Big one. There you go.
So it's just play by play like this. They're just helping me and go left, go right, big steps, little steps, and we just continue.
That one actually was loose, Trapper.
That one
Tell you
moves.
afterwards.
That one moves.
And it was amazing. It was amazing. There were people shooting video. Oh, I should tell you this. So the next day, a friend of ours, Annie, who was from Australia, and she was also there at the same time. And she told me that she was outside a restaurant. She's talking to another guy she doesn't know, and he starts talking about that he was on Cross Mountain yesterday and saw the craziest thing, man. There was this blind guy going up this, 2 blokes helping him to go up this Cross Mountain. And she goes, yeah, I know that guy. He's got a podcast. So if those guys happen to be listening, how you doing? And welcome to the podcast here.
Hallowed be thy name.
And we would stop to do Stations of the Cross and
On earth as it is in heaven.
pray.
Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
And we're getting closer to the cross itself. Put there in 1933, a pope said, let's put a cross right here. And
Don, how tall is
without
the tree?
realizing that it would be about 50 years later that this.
Hey, Don, how tall is the tree? I mean, how tall is the cross?
She told us, and I don't
Yeah, I don't remember either. Huh? 8 meters.
8 millimeters.
No,
20 meters.
8 meters.
8 meters?
Like 8 feet? A meter.
No, that's meters a yard. Meters a yard.
Yeah, it's a 24 feet.
Yeah, meters are like yards.
You know, we should go metric and figure this out, you know? So figure about 24, 25 foot tall cement cross sitting on top of this mountain. And finally, there's some steps, actual steps, real steps, put there, cement, to get up to the cross and then place the stone at the base.
Okay, now put your hand on the rail. You got that?
Just follow the yellow brick road.
That's right.
Okay, we'll follow the yellow brick road. Rail's so much colder than Ben.
No, that's a big step right there.
This cross right here. Okay, is this where we toss or what do we do?
We're whispering because it feels sacred. It just feels sacred. Plus, there are other pilgrims making their way up there too. Although there was kind of this gap, it was just us, you know, just our group that was going up there. So there was even time to take some photos too.
It's right here. Like right there? Yeah, just right there. See ya.
And I placed the stone there at the foot of the cross. And the crazy part is when I put it there, I couldn't remember what I had placed on it, which I think is kind of cool. Whatever I gave to God, I forgot what it was. It felt incredible. It felt incredible. It's one of those things. I'm nuts. and Ben and Paul are even more nuts for agreeing to. I mean, it's 2.5 hours of this and another hour and a half going down. We went the back way, which is a little more treacherous but quicker. Before we head back down again. But we just sat up there for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. There was a little photo time and just this gorgeous day. It was blue skies that I could almost see, kind of see. Slight breeze, and it was just the perfect day, perfect temperature.
Okay. If you go over it, you're going to...
She's telling me to sit down over here. Don't go too far, otherwise I'll be plummeting. I don't want to be plummeting anywhere.
That was a wow.
It's incredible. Thank you. Thank you. We'll just take the elevator down, okay?
Okay.
You're sending a helicopter.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
So,
See, Nina's learned the use of shoes, Did you hear that? Now, Nina, Paul's wife, did part of it barefoot. She wanted the full experience, but she was putting shoes back on for the trip down.
Suddenly a bus pulls up.
Patty Travel.
Is that us?
that's us.
Oh, gee. The bus pulls up as we come off the mountain? Timing.
And we are here. We are.
Love you, Ben. Thank you.
Where you're
Love you.
most welcome.
Oh, here.
Paul, God bless you.
Thank you.
Now I get to tell you something.
Yeah?
So I looked it up, and Benjamin, of course, was, one of the tribe of Benjamin in the Old Testament.
Right, of course.
And Paul, St. Paul, was in the tribe of Benjamin. See how tied you guys are?
And Father Kevin was down there as well, our good friend of ours.
So good to be here with you.
You are so incredible.
Oh, God bless you.
God bless you.
I'm so glad that you were able to make it to the top, and so good to be there with you.
Those two gentlemen just,
Darling!
Darling! Darling!
You did it.
We
You
did it.
You
I
got
can.
your- You got your...
I got my wish. I got my prayer. Got my prayer.
How you doing, Father?
I'm great.
All right.
He's ready to do it again.
Yeah, sure.
Come on in.
I'm fine.
We are going to have such wobbly legs. We are going to
I
have
know.
such wobbly legs.
I know.
So I'm now guiding Ben and Paul onto the bus.
Hey, I'll guide you on this. Big step. Big step.
Congratulations, especially to Trapper Jack. Bravo for him. Give us applause. Yeah.
Bravo for Ben.
And for his angels, one applause too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was also a job.
That was St. Benjamin and St. Paul. That's who those are. Those are.
Okay, so now what I was saying to Ben, when I saw this, you are my inspiration now. You can, this is
You are her
you can learn always from the group, so you can do anything.
You can do anything. That was nuts. It was just nuts. Thanks again to Ben and Paul for getting me up there, and it was just great. And back down safely. Total trip time, I don't know, 4.5 hours maybe, something like that. It's nuts.
Definitely is. So one of the ladies in our group, this last time when we went, she ended up falling between the first and second station and hitting her head on a rock and having to go. And she ended up getting a stitch in her head.
Going up or coming down?
Going up.
Going up, yeah. Can happen too, because coming down is even, trickier.
So, and what's interesting is Snezhina, who is our guide, she said to me, because of course I had been in her group the year before, she's like, please tell people if you don't think they can make it up cross mountain, like let them know how difficult it is.
Yeah. And when we hit the bottom, it was I just wrapped my arms around Ben and just said, thank you so much. Love you, and grabbed Paul, did the same, grabbed my priest, Father Kevin, did the same, and just what a moment to share. Again, going back to the last episode where I just talked about how this kid who, when he was going blind, didn't want to tell anybody because who would like a kid who had something wrong with them? This whole this Medjugorje trip for me was, look at all the people who love you.
I think because who you are, the love you have for people, I think that's, that's evident. Your message,
It's all part of the walls coming down. The walls went up because of the lies, the lie of who would like a kid. And that's the enemy. And so, especially over these last several years, actually over the last 25 years, I would say, the walls have been coming down. And how Jesus has done that has been nothing short of remarkable. And he doesn't do it. You don't ever hear Jesus say, come on, hurry on. Come on, hurry up, hurry. Jesus is so patient with us, right? And it's just part of the journey of life. It's just part of the journey of life. And it's slow, and it's slower than we want it to be. And it's supposed to be slow.
Yeah.
So it's truly infused into us. He does it slowly. It's why most people don't get quick miracles, because we'd miss it. If 25 years ago someone had snapped their finger and I'd gotten a healing, I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't be going to Medjugorje. We wouldn't be having this conversation. God knows that. One night, and I'll tell you this too. This is kind of interesting. We weren't sure. There was nothing guaranteed that we were going to spend any time with a visionary. And having been there before, I knew that wasn't the end all, but it's kind of a nice little, again, cherry on top kind of thing, if you can do it. But my request to corporate travel and to Mariana, our guide, was, if possible, it'd be great to have one time with a visionary. Maria still gets the apparitions from Mary, so that'd be great. But so along the way, Mariana said, I have put in a request. I went, okay, that's great. We finally get to on Friday, we're told that we can go on Saturday, that she's approved it, that we can get down into her chapel. So that's great. So we have that experience. Everybody goes, and we all have this experience, and it's awesome. And so a day or two passed, and I said to Mariana, our guide, I said, and we've learned more about her, that she is a friend, that she travels with Maria, that she is sometimes her interpreter, that these guys have been close for 20 years. We didn't know that. And I just said, so when you have groups come in like ours, you take the group to Maria like a time or two a month. I mean, how often does this happen? And she says, I never take a group to Maria. I said, what? She said, I don't. I don't ask. And I said, what? She said, your group is different. You're different. Your wife is different. And I said, why? Why? She says, you guys are different. And so that's why she reached out to Maria more than once, just to say, this is different. And you might remember the blind guy because he stayed with you a couple of times. And so Maria said yes. And that's why we had that one night there in the chapel. And that was special. Touched by Heaven listeners like you are different. Those listening right now who have listened to this far are different. And that heart, not to, it sounds crazy because who else would go to Medjugorje? Well, you get all sorts. You get all sorts. It's just a trendy thing to do. Let's just go, whatever that is. But when you meet the people, and most who go there have this kind of heart, but
are genuine.
Very genuine. As when you listen to these stories and those sharing their stories, the Touched by Heaven community, you're different. And it registers in Medjugorje. The woman managing the hotel, her name she's got a real long name, but I said, what's that in English? She says, Dawn. And I go, you're Dawn. Okay, Dawn. But she said, next year, you want to do this again? You have the whole hotel. You guys are fantastic. You get this. You get it.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Yeah, it's being different is such a blessing. It's such a blessing. There's something different in your heart. For sure.
Yeah.
A miraculous feeling. But yeah.
You're just open to all aspects of God. You're seeing God everywhere in your life.
And it's like, you go to Medjugorje and you're like, I have to go back. And even now, I have to go back. I have to go back again. What for this time? I don't know. Yeah. There will be another time I go there.
Yeah. I'm assuming we will too. I'm not sure. Mary makes it known when she makes it known. What haven't we touched on, Claire, that we need to touch on in your story as you look at your notes, if you got any, or just what comes to
We
mind?
didn't talk about Mary's 5 stones, which is extremely difficult.
Rosary daily, Bible daily, go to Mass, receive the Eucharist. Church says once a week on Sunday. Be sure you're there then. Go to confession at least once a month. And what's the other one? Oh, and fast and do some fasting on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Fasting Wednesday and
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah.
Yeah, that's something I really work hard on doing.
That's beautiful. What's our takeaway today, Ms. Claire?
The takeaway is that the Blessed Mother loves us more than we can imagine. Jesus loves us, and God always has our back.
Amen.
But I'm enjoying this conversation so much. It's not often I get to like really talk like this about my faith for this amount of time.
And before you go, Claire, I want to thank you for one more thing here. But first, quick Patreon shout out to Chad Jacobs. Thanks, Chad, for joining the Patreon family and helping this all go every week here through your support and others in the family, including you, Claire. Thanks for finding the podcast, I don't know, in the last year here and joining the Patreon family because of what it means to you. And I just want to thank you for your support financially and also for your tape to help mend my white cane over in Medjugorje. You're just awesome.
You're awesome too. And thank you. Thank you for your podcast because it is so enlightening. And it's like once a week I get to hear these wonderful stories and it's like, yay.
Oh, yay. Oh, yay. Thank you, girl.
Great talking to you.
All right. Love you. Thank you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
All right, bye now. And here in this episode, whether you call it a stone in my pocket, my crosses, your crosses, we carry our crosses every day. But the idea is to carry them to Him, to bring them to the foot of the cross and give our crosses to Jesus. Let Him have it all, surrender it all, because He will help us every day in carrying our cross. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you so much. Thank you, Claire. Appreciate that. All right, what's your story? You got to let me know here at touchedbyheaven.net. Need that. Need your stories. Touchedbyheaven.net. Okay, and I'll see you next week here at Touched by Heaven. Everyday encounters with God. I'm Trapper Jack. Thanking you again, Claire, for, just being here.
Again, it was a cross. I survived.